All right, the Cowboys lose Ben McAdoo, and he's supposed to be the consultant for the offensive coordinator. There goes to show you that maybe, just maybe, his resume and what he did for the Cowboys spoke glowingly of his skill set, because he is able to get a job, an offensive coordinator job, just like that. Now, we didn't get a chance to see Ben McAdoo call plays for the Cowboys, right? And one can argue that the last time, hear me out before y'all say, oh, he wasn't nothing anyway. One can argue this right here, the last time the Giants made it to the playoffs, Ben McAdoo was their head coach. He was their head coach. So there's credence to his ability to lead guys or what have you. And it could just been a stroke of luck, right? But neither here nor there. Most importantly, regardless of the situation, there's this other guy that we cannot afford to lose, by the way, and his name is Dan Quinn. And he's gone, basically. He's gone. Dan Quinn got a second interview with Denver Broncos. He's over there for a cup of coffee in New York for the Giants. And I think the Giants play in New Jersey. He's from New Jersey. And then you got to contextualize Chicago. They really want him. So now you plan the leverage game. Either he can go back to Jerry Jones and say, hey, these are the offers that they're trying to squeeze me with, what you got. Or it could be a situation whereas Giants versus Broncos, who will have the most money to solidify his pockets, right? And in this type of situation, you got to look at a team and say to yourself, all right, do you go to a conference that you're not that familiar with, and that's the Broncos, or do you go to the Giants? You can at least say, I got prep work at least for the Eagles. I got prep work at least for the Washington football team. And lo and behold, I got prep work for the Cowboys. So those are the things that he can literally bring to the table regardless. He can say, well, if you really think about it, the Giants are a year removed from being top 10 defense themselves, right? They got some weapons on the defensive side. So Quinn can look at it and say, okay, he can reach out to the people that's in the free agent pool, bring them along, install his philosophy and his scheme. Who knows, right? And they could probably look into the Deshaun Watson quarterback sweepstake, right? Or they could probably look into the aspect of finding that one quarterback that can help out that team outside of Danny Dimes, right? Or he can say, okay, Dimes, this is what you need to work on. So many things. And then you can look at the Broncos and say, man, storied franchise. You got a damn good DB out of Patrick Surtain. So you can build upon that. So I look at it like this. Dan Quinn is a guy that's going to be gone. He's gone regardless of it, unless Jerry Jones pick up the phone and say, hey, I got this money for you. I got these resources for you. I got all of these things for you so you don't have to leave. But 9 times out of 10, we can do these options. We can roll with Joe Witt Jr., right? I mean, he's getting offers too, right? But we can roll with Joe Witt Jr. because it will be a promotion for him for the defensive coordinator. Remember, Joe Witt Jr., I believe, got the interview before Dan Quinn. And I recall Charles Woodson gave a reigning endorsement for Joe Witt Jr. And he said basically Joe Witt Jr. helped him out. And that's Charles Woodson, right? and that's way back in the days when he was coaching for Green Bay. And if you look up Joe Witt Jr.'s resume, he coached a little bit for the Browns and as well as for, I believe, the Atlanta Falcons as well. So you got all of those mixtures together for Joe Witt Jr. Now, here's the situation. Hear me out. It will be still some, look at the growing pains there, right? But if you look at some of the younger, hear me out, defensive coordinators, check out DeMeco Ryan for the 49ers. Unbelievable job. I think he's only 5 or 6 years removed from retiring from the NFL and came right into the picture of being a good coach for them. That quarters defense creating all type of problems for elite quarterbacks, and as well it created problems for us. And they on a run right now with quarters defense, right? Dropping and making sure that the front four getting home, and then the linebackers. Unbelievable skill set that those linebackers bringing out there to that particular team. So this is where we at. Now we got options. We do. Either you can go with the youth or the unknown, or you can go with the known commodity. Yep, you can go with the known commodity. Mike Zimmer, hey, let's be real. Let's be real. He was a decent head coach, but if you narrow down his focus and say, hey, we only want you on the defensive side of the coin to be a defensive coordinator, it may work, right? Vic Fangio, you got that option. That may work. These guys been long in the tooth, but they've been around the corner before. And I tell people all the time, right? A new broom can sweep the floor good, but that old broom can get those corners. So those are things that you have to quantify, right? You have to say to yourself, all right, do you go with the old or do you go with the youth? And I think at this point, I really do think that the Jones family, they're going to give Mike McCarthy that one more year, right? Because if you look into the past, one of Jerry Jones' biggest regrets was, I forgot the name of the coach. I think it was Shane Gailey. He felt bad that he only gave him 2 years and then he moved off from him, So I think that he's going to at least give him 3 years. And the Cowboys must start off fast. If not, it's going to be troubled waters. It's going to be that whole doubt situation with your coach or what have you. And granted, we do know that the prettier car is Sean Payton. We do know that that's something that Jerry Jones would love to have as it relates to coaching on this team, right? But one thing I can tell you, hear me out. Sean Payton is considering retiring, and on top of that, Sean Payton is still under contract. So I don't think that we'll give up draft capital or more money to bring Sean Payton in over here. And then you have to revamp a whole bunch of other things that's going on with this organization to do such. Just want to put that out there, Cowboy Nation. So with that being said, I don't know whether or not Kellen Moore got called in for a second interview yet, or if any team is going to pull the trigger on Kellen Moore. I don't know. I don't know how he do in interviews. Remember, he was pretty much handpicked for the positions that he's at now, right? He went from quarterback coach, right, hear me out, to offensive coordinator, from offensive coordinator to where he's at now for all of these years, offensive coordinator. So I don't know if he had to go through an interview process or a mask, show your work process, or he was this genius guy that everybody heard that he draw up plays, remarkable plays, right? So I don't know if he's been actually, how can I say this? Don't want to sully or denigrate him. I don't know whether or not he really earned it, basically. So I don't know how he go through his interview process. He may be damn near good, It's just that this is his third year ever being an offensive coordinator, and we had to know, right, that there will be some growing pains. And he got an unbelievable opportunity to be a head coach out there somewhere. So we'll see how everything shake out, Cowboy Nation. Post me your thoughts, post me your concerns down below. My name is Law Nation. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. DC for life. Salute.